I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
We gotta know how many wieners are going down these dudes' throats.
I'm gonna go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's gonna happen on Saturday.
Hello, boys! We are back with another episode of the mma-analysis podcast. We are recording on Valentine's Day Eve. We got a pretty interesting fight card to break down. The first ever ESPN event in Phoenix, and we'll be talking about what happened in Melbourne, Australia last week. I'm joined, as usual, by the Kentucky Sodsman, Wes Colvin. Tough loss the other night. Coach Calipari, I don't even know. He's not happy, is he?
No, there was some pretty good Twitter things going around with Louisville. Louisville having one of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen.
Michigan lost to Penn State. You had Louisville choking to Duke. You must. I mean, as bad as the other night was for Kentucky losing to LSU, which, I mean, it's a regular season game. It happens. It's a little frustrating. Might probably cost you a chance at the 1 seed. I guess seeing Louisville just fall apart like that, and they're, probably their season's over now because of that. You have to love that.
I mean, you would think that, but they're playing puke. So that's I'm so conflicted when that shit happens. I don't know who to hate more, but they choked. I wouldn't say we choked. We did give up a 4 or 5 point lead late, but that was an absolute goaltend. That should have went to overtime. I mean, it was a horrible call, but it happens. But I mean, we got to beat Tennessee a couple times. We still play the number 1 team in the country twice, so you get a win over them and a nice run in the SEC tournament. We still got a chance at a 1 seed, but yeah, I mean, last night I don't think the last time that many people in Kentucky were collectively that pissed off was probably Prohibition. I mean, when they took our liquor away.
Prohibition.
I mean, that was probably the last time that many people. I'm serious. Like the entire state was like,
That's
fuck.
good. That's good.
I mean, I was thinking I'm gonna have to stay away from my neighbor for the next week, and then now he's probably just staying away from me, so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, sad times. But college basketball, man, it's good this year, man.
A lot of good teams. There's a handful of really good teams.
Duke is beatable.
I know you were telling me that last night.
Duke is beatable. That was a great comeback and everything, but that literally took Louisville choking as bad as I've ever seen them. Duke's beatable. That should give everybody a little bit of hope this year because they're really good.
I would really like to see, and I tweeted this last night, I would love to see in the Final Four, whether it's the semis or the finals, Duke and Tennessee. I just think that's a classic. That could be a classic matchup. Tennessee's got their best team.
Tennessee's good.
Maybe the best they're the best team. Had.
They're the best team in the country. They've had one. They're one of their best teams since they had way back. Allen Houston is probably the last time they were that good.
They had a really good team in 2007.
Yeah, Lofton. When Lofton played,
they lost to Greg Oden's Ohio State team. Ohio State came back from 20 down at halftime and won the game.
They had a really good team then.
Yeah,
that kid Lofton was from Kentucky. He's from the state of Kentucky too, and we didn't recruit him. And he went down there. He's like Tennessee's one of their all-time leading scorers and shit. Really, really good player.
And new Sean, I'm drinking a Labatt, so I got a little Canada going on in my house tonight. I know you're going to make fun of Labatt.
Shit.
I know we're going to say that. Yeah, to me, I should have had a Miller Lite ahead of the 500, and an ode to Brad Keselowski's future victory there. But
we'll take it.
West wouldn't hate it. He wouldn't hate it.
No.
I feel like you say this every year though, that Kez is the favorite, and then like he's looking great, and then he gets clipped by somebody. But I mean, that's
the past few years he has, the past few years. But he's just so good there. It takes that for him to not be there.
Is he the odds-on favorite to win?
Him and Logano are both 9-1. Logano.
I didn't get to tell you this, Wes. So I had one of my contacts saw Logano at a Coca-Cola event earlier this year, and or earlier, during the off season, they got me, or they got Logano to sign a picture for my wife saying that she's his number one fan. So I was like, oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, happy wife. Happy race day.
Mm-hmm.
They'll leave you alone, let you watch a 4-hour race.
Right, it's a good thing.
Almost as bad as an 8-hour fight day.
Yeah. We can. Well, luckily, our last card in Melbourne wasn't 8 hours long because part of the reason was. How do we start this? We enter fight week. Kelvin Gastelum's got marks all over his face and on his,
worms coming out of his mouth.
We had our Twitter doctors and picture scientists looking at everything under the sun.
Hey, they worked.
But they were right this time. Yeah. But ultimately, so then there were some thoughts, Gastelum going to be 100%, blah, blah, blah. How much did he train? And then ultimately, it's Whittaker who pulls out of the fight.
The Band-Aid.
He plays in, no problem. Then all of a sudden on fight day, sorry, fight ain't happening, dude. And here we are. Unbelievable. And then the fight doesn't happen. Gastelum's walking around with the belt. I don't even know what's going on. And I don't even know what happens after this. Wes, give your thoughts.
First off, fucking that clown ass shit Gastelum's doing with walking around with Cejudo's belt, like turning the worst ever WWE promo you ever seen in your life. Like, dude, no, that didn't work. And he tried to
get started on WWE UFC promos. Hint, hint, Cejudo. Hint, hint.
Oh god damn! Can we talk about that fucking creeper mermaid? Like, dude, Ariel's got to chill out with that. It's just creepy at this point. Like, I'll leave it at that. I was actually liking my Whittaker bet a little more, man. I mean, I thought it was going to be a close fight. We talked about it, but he even came out a few days ago talking like he was on antibiotics and they was treating his staph and everything else. Like, dude had staph, was on antibiotics. Like, you can't tell me he wasn't gonna fucking gas harder than he usually.
Got shot and it was over, Wes. So don't even worry about it.
He's had that hernia for a while. Like, now apparently I give you that. I mean, who knows what would have happened if they made it to the fight? It could have, man. But that just doesn't develop overnight. He's had that hernia. He's had to dealt with it before and shit too. They tried to say that he's never felt anything. That bullshit. He's got a hernia that bad on an intestine and shit. He's felt it before and probably dealt with it. But yeah, man, even still had your fucking idiot MMA fan base out there like, he's a pussy. He's got to fight with that shit. Like, literally, he had to go right into surgery, you morons. Like, it could have cut
emergency surgery.
It could have cut off blood flow. It could have cut flow to his organs and literally, he's got to show up. Like,
bitch.
But now for the future, man. I mean, he's a Band-Aid, man. He's got injury problems bad, and this ain't good at all. I mean, it should be fixed now and stuff, but still, you can't.
How many injuries and things has he had now? It seems like it's just it's adding up fast.
Is middleweight cursed or something?
Hand? No,
Exactly.
he's cursed.
Well, I mean, you just can't get any.
His hands are always broken. What else does he hurt? But I swear, it's middleweight, man. He's always injured. Weidman's always injured. Rockhold's always pulling out of fights. Like, fuck, man, this is
Yolo's
crazy.
never injured.
And then we'll talk about it later. But like friend of the analysis, our boy Lance Fishel, just killing Stylebender. Now I get like people not wanting to rush him, but it's 185. There's literally like nobody there's nobody there. Like, he is one of the few best.
He just wants stupid to what's his name? His old boy Jacare to get the title shot.
Yeah, because I mean Lance loves his wrestlers and he loves his Jacare. And unfortunately, Weidman and Jacare have been fucked up a lot recently. So his friends are not in the title picture. But yeah,
Jacare lost to Gastelum. Yep, that's just the way it is. And he lost the fight.
And he lost to Whittaker.
It was close, but he lost it.
Yeah, you need new guys, man. You just got to get new blood and personalities, and I think that's one thing that absolutely he's got his personality. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, man, do you try to run this fight back now? I mean,
no,
it definitely
it's gonna be too long. It's gonna be too long.
You definitely
can. And there's no trust.
Yeah, you can't trust Whittaker to headline like an Australian card again.
It's like the Ferguson Habib thing, in my opinion.
I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, I think they did the whole Stylebender Anderson as the co-main in case this would happen. Unfortunately, you had to pull out one fucking day before, or half a day before it was going to happen. So at that point, you're kind of fucked. But like, I think that was the point. But yeah,
it was the point.
I'm glad that Izzy didn't have to fight Gastelum Saturday, because that would have been, even Gastelum on Ringworm and Staph. I don't think that would have been. I mean, I still think that's a bad matchup at this point for him. But
I don't know. This surgery, he's going to be out for like 6 weeks before you can even start training, and then you add a 6 to 8 week camp, like. He's going to be out for a long time. They got to do interim at this point.
Yeah, and plus you trust him he's going to come back.
Do you do the Stylebender fight now, though? I mean, he's calling for it, and who else?
I think you got to do the Gastelum Adesanya fight.
Yeah, I mean it's building a little heat already. I guess as much as you can at 185. Man, what a bad weight class at this point.
I mean, it's got skills. It's just
it's not really a bad weight.
Yeah,
it's not really a bad
fights
weight.
Never happen. That's the problem.
Yeah, guys are just yeah. What are you gonna do, man? Hell, it ain't even got Rockhold anymore, does it? Didn't he go up?
Well,
he went up to 205, right?
He hasn't fought it at that weight yet, so who knows? Anyway, let's talk about the rest. Yeah, let's talk about the fight card. So the prelim started with this was my biggest bet on the card. Can you believe that? Jonathan Martinez going up against Luigi Buren. Why is anybody? How did this fight drop to like minus 125? Wes, can you explain this to me? Because I can't. This was a gift.
Yeah, I mean, going in, there was some moments though, man. I mean,
Luigi Buren should not be pretty much even money versus anybody.
No,
I mean, he still had him in some bad positions.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there was some iffy spots, but I hear you, man. That kid's so young and stuff, and he's still he's a little bit better than fucking that dude. Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah. So we got that one going on. Then we had Jalen Turner taking out Callan Potter. Well, we knew this was going to happen. Yeah, this guy is a 6'3" lightweight who can strike, and Potter's toast. Let's keep moving on up to the televised card. Good fight to start. Kyung-Ho Kang taking out little bitch Teruto Ishihara. Wes, I'll let you talk about this one. I know we're entertained.
Hey, I will give Ishihara, man. That dude, he brought it. I mean, that dude was swinging, dude. Like he landed some shit on Kane, man. But yeah, that dude's a tank, man. I thought that was a great line. I had him in a couple parlays, man. Kane's a fucking tank, dude. Props to Ishihara though. That dude, he brought it up. Just I don't see how you keep him around, man. Just jack that dude up on some magma and send him over to Ryzen or something.
Yeah, Ryzen. Boy. Okay. Kai Kara France taking on Rulian Paiva. I thought I got to be honest. I didn't watch this fight live, and I thought it was pretty. I think it was closer than other people thought it was. But yeah, I guess you could certainly make a case for Paiva to win. Definitely some hometown cooking, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, there's very rare when like a lot of people is agreeing on Twitter and media scores. There's only a couple the other way. This was a pretty bad robbery to me, man. I thought it was total hometown. I mean, if you want to just look at significant strikes and damage, I mean, it was clear one way. I mean, France was busted up pretty good, man. I don't get it. I know I was biased, but everybody I saw was pretty much like, that's pretty bad robbery. So what can you do? I like Paiva, man. I even tweeted like the first or second round. I was like, this kid's a problem, man. Win or lose at 125. I mean, he's big. He's got range. I mean, his counters, using his range on counters and stuff was really good. I like him. I don't even know if this division's going to be around, but wherever that kid's at, he's good, man.
Sean, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was 2-1 for Paiva. I think he looked pretty good in that fight, especially in a big stadium event in Australia. But the judges had to take that one away from him, so that's a tough loss at a big number.
Shane Young, another Australian GOAT, number 17, taken out. Austin likes to get hit in the face. Arnett. Yeah. I feel like Shane Young will be, what do we call them? I forget. Fade plant. Forward. Fade plant moving forward. Wes, I'm sure you like him on the fade plant. You're growing that one, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean he's fun, man. He throws down, but that dude's got so many holes, man. Give me he's gonna get beat. I sprinkled on Arnett. It was a dumb bet. That dude's terrible, but Shane Young isn't great, man.
Devontae Smith, on the other hand, looks like there's something there, taking out what was Dung Young Kim, now Dung Young Ma. I don't know how that happened. I'm sure. Smith is certainly a confident feller. Yeah, but big athletic dude versus slow Asian fighter. Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't brain surgeon here. No brain surgery required. Moving up to the main card, Sam Alvey once again losing. Jimmy Crute,
my boy, got it.
Crute, Wes liked that one. Winner by KO. Didn't see. Was this really This is the only fight I didn't really see a lot of. Do you really feel that this was people said it was like an early stoppage? Yeah, I mean, but wasn't he hurt before this? Wasn't he out? They kind of let him back.
Yeah, I mean, it probably should have been stopped the first time he dropped him, but the idiot, like, he shouldn't have. He went straight book and walked away, and he said that he was like, "Oh, I wanted to walk off knockout," like dumb shit. But anyway, I mean, Alvey was slick on his face. It probably should have been stopped there. If he would have went with any kind of follow up, the ref would have jumped on it. I mean, the second one, I guess Alvey was awake, but I mean, he was hurt. It probably wasn't going to take too much more. So, I mean, I guess you could look at it both ways, but the fight should have been stopped the first time. I didn't. This was a great line. I thought. I just didn't see. I didn't see how Alvey was going to go over and win this fight. Like I said on the show last week, his power that people talk about is just completely overrated.
Now his durability is gone.
Yeah, now his chin is very questionable because he's starting to get cracked lately and starting to get tagged. So, big young guy like that at home. I had to take a shot, and it paid off that time.
All right. Next up, Montana De La Rosa taking out the thing called Nadia Kassem. This seemed pretty easy. I don't know if there's really much to say there. Nushan, did you bet the over in this fight and lost?
Of course I did. I was an idiot.
Yeah, no.
Here, this one was a dumb one. That was a pretty big mauling. I should have just put De La Rosa in a parlay, even at the minus whatever 250 she was. It was that was a cheap price.
Oh boy. Ricky Simone, on the other hand, got his biggest win, taking out Hani Yahya. I think I might have been the only one who liked Ricky in this one, but Hani was eventually going to get exposed. This was a weird fight, though. Wasn't there like a shoulder knockdown here in this fight or something? Something weird.
Yeah.
Simone
looked good. He looked really good in that fight. That was a good win for him. I mean, Yaya's he ain't no pushover, man. But yeah, Simone looked as good as he has. That was a really good win.
Co-main event, maybe the worst co-main event in pay-per-view history.
Yep.
Lando Bonata submitting Marcos Rosa in a fight that I don't think anyone cared about, correct?
And it's fun to watch Lando beat some poor sap up.
Just let Lando Bonata get back on track after just fighting against a pretty big row of elite, solid fighters. So get him a nice gimme win to get back on the winning train, and I guess we'll see what they do with him next.
Exactly. And then our main event. This was interesting. Israel Adesanya taking on Anderson Silva in a fight that seemed way more art and show than fight. But they got the winner right. Adesanya landed more strikes. Anderson, I think, I'm not going to say let him win, but I didn't really see him really go after it much. But it was fun. It was entertaining. Where I was watching, people seem interested in it. 29-28 and then 230-27's. Wes, thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Going in, I wanted Adesanya to win. I didn't want Anderson to get really badly KO'd or something. Thought it was going to happen, but and it didn't. I thought it was pretty fun. Adesanya got him good one time, kind of dropped him, staggered Anderson one time early in the first, I believe, maybe the second. But besides that, it was a pretty much a sparring match. I was totally wrong on that side. Adesanya was completely in there over respecting Anderson. I don't think he wanted to hurt him bad, and that's kind of what the fight looked like. I mean, Anderson didn't. I mean, I don't guess he looked horrible for being 43 and off of the fucking blue vial shit or whatever the fuck that he took. Yeah, Anderson Silva took shit too. You don't hear all the outrage about that like you do John Jones, but I'll stay away from that. I guess you got to give Adesanya the shot, man. If Whittaker's going to be out, I mean, you can say what you want, the guy's ready or not. A lot of guys have gotten title shots off of far less. I mean, they're giving Anthony Smith a title shot against John fucking Jones. So
that's fair.
I mean, you can't really argue about who gets title shots and what now. It's never been about deserving a title shot in this game anymore. So, I guess that's where we're at. I'm not sure that Gastelum is the best matchup for Adesanya at this point, though. So, not sure that's going to go too well for him right now. But he surprised before, man. The guy's making leaps in his skills, dude. So we'll see. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good fight.
Nushan, your take.
I thought it was a pretty good fight. I think it's one of those things where Adesanya is a huge favorite. Anderson's coming off like a huge break, and he hasn't looked close to where it is. So if Adesanya doesn't destroy him, then you're kind of down on the decision or down on the fight. The first and third rounds were not very close in this fight. Anderson was fucking around doing his shit, and Adesanya was tagging him. The surprising thing for me was Anderson could take it. The second round was obviously closer. But yeah, like Watching Adesanya is unreal. The way that he can switch stances and do so much with that, just combinations and there's just not a striker in the UFC that can do what he does. I like Gastelum. I think Wes might be downplaying how good style bender is on the feet. I know that's obviously the thing.
He rolls him. If it's kickboxing, he rolls him. Gastelum's a smart fighter. I'm not sure Gastelum will stay and trade with him to that extent. But if it's a predominantly like stand up fight, I love him. Gastelum's smart. Gastelum's smart.
It'll be a fun, like if it happens, that'll be an interesting and fun fight because it could go a couple ways, and I think we could see Adesanya get exposed, but he's had somewhat decent takedown defense in the couple of fights recently where guys tried to take him down. So maybe he can keep Gastelum off him, and it'll be a striking affair. That would be pretty fun. What did you think of it, Jay?
Oh, it was entertaining. It's just a matter of I don't even know how much you really take from Anderson's performance, and how if Adesanya, if there was some things there that made folks worry. He did back away from some exchanges. Certainly played it safe, but I think he's a showman.
It made no sense for him to just trade with Anderson Silva when he can just pick him apart, which is what he did in the first and third rounds. Like, why would you trade with him and risk getting caught when you know you're just better? At this point in their careers, Adesanya's just better. So, it's unfortunate that Adesanya didn't get the KO. I mean, I bet the fight not go to distance, but he did what he needed to do.
Yeah, Anderson backing up and trying to get him to come in. Like, Anderson is one of the best counter strikers that the sport's ever seen. Like, why the fuck would you let Anderson back up, draw you in, and go in and get countered by Anderson Silva? Like, he did what he had to do to win.
Yep.
He knew what was on the line.
Sure. No disagreements there. But it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with this division now. Are they going to wait? Are they going to do an interim title? Who will be the interim title? I mean, I guess it has to be Gastelum and Adesanya, but will they do that? Time will tell for sure. We will move on to this weekend's card in Phoenix. First ESPN card, 13 fights. It's a Sunday event. Alexandra Albu, known for her assets, taking on Emily Whitmire, not known as much for her assets. Wes, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, Whitmire's. This Albu chick is, you want to talk about fucking Mac Pulson. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean,
P's ecto cooler, man.
I think the line's actually a little short, man. I hate to lay juice on a women's fight, but I mean, it's getting close to the point where I'm going to have to make a bet on Albu. I haven't done it yet, but I mean, it's come all the way down from, I believe, around minus 200. I don't get it. I mean, Whitmire's like really, really bad, dude. So if this goes down another 15 cents or so, I'll probably have to take a shot on Albu.
Okay. Nushan.
Yeah, I don't care about this fight. I did put the fight go decision at minus 230 in a parlay, a 1 unit parlay.
Always.
It's a 3-0 fighter versus 3-2 fighter. Like, punch me in the dick.
I got Whitmire a D-, Albu a C-. Whitmire is one of the worst fighters in this division. I agree with Wes. I don't get the number. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing something. I don't think I am. Albu wins. I'll be playing it too if it goes even a little bit lower. All right, next fight up, we got Jessica Penne and Jodie Escobar, back-to-back women's fights to start.
No
way.
Serious?
Fighters on a 2-fight losing streak and a 3-fight losing streak. Fuck yeah, buddy.
That can't be real life, man. That can't be real life. I seriously give no shits about this fight. None. I don't care. I'm gonna pick Panay and Top Master, but I really don't care.
Wow, Brooklyn just hit a buzzer beater at the end of the second overtime. We're going to a third overtime.
Oh, shit.
DeMare Carroll. Anyway, this is getting good.
All I know is the Knicks are around the number, so
the Knicks are
down 20. They were down 26. They've gotten it all the way back within 12.
Well, that was really sneaky too to get that shot off. Yeah. Anyway, overtime 3 in Cleveland. By the time we finish this show, maybe they'll still be playing. Anyway, I got D for Escobar, Penne a C-. I mean, Penne at her ceiling was one of the better female fighters in the world. She's gotten older and she was a bit exposed, but I mean, how far do you think she's drifted? You got to really do, but I don't like betting fighters on the downswing. It's usually a bad omen. But this price a little surprising. I thought she'd be closer to minus 200. Prelim headliner, we move over to the men, and this is a pretty interesting bout. We got a former friend of the MMA analysis, or at least my friend, Hedden Barrow, taking on the man's boyfriend, the man, Luke Sanders. You're going to ask me who the man is? Yeah, well. Our fans.
I know.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think she's definitely wearing the pants. At least, we know what kind of sex they're into.
With the bank account, probably. I'm sure.
We can know what kind of sex they're into. Right? A lot of sleep, if you know what I'm saying. West, I'll let you start.
Man, I tell you what, if Luke Sanders wasn't like maybe a level below Scoggins level Mook, I would have a massive bet on him on this fight. With that being said, it's a smaller bet at minus 165, but man, he should maul the ghost of Hedden Barrow. Like, seriously, it would literally take an all-time Luke Sanders moment to lose this fight, I think. And I'm talking winning 14 minutes and 30 seconds and getting knocked out by fucking Casper, the fucking ghost of Hedden Barrow. I bet Sanders here at minus 165. He's going to maul Barrow. There's few fighters in this sport that I've seen fall off like this guy. It's incredible. He's still like 32 now. It's just incredible the level he's fallen off. If Sanders doesn't maul him, dude, I will be a little bit shocked.
New Sean, are you of the same sentiment?
Yeah, I gotta assume that Luke Sanders is gonna win this fight. My guess is he's gonna try to be a little bit smarter in this fight. That is always playing with fire, but after all the fights that he's pissed away, I would hope that he would be a little more hesitant and just kind of try to take it just one round at a time and just beat Barrow over a 3-round decision. Because it seems like when he tries to just swarm a guy and go for it too hard, he ends up losing in spectacular fashion. So I took goes to decision at minus 115. I got like 2/3 of a unit on it. Barrow has been losing lately, obviously, but he can still take it. He looks like shit. He might get dropped a couple times,
man.
But he can stay.
We gotta remember, Barrow lost to something called Andre Ewell.
I know.
He was in
decision.
He was bad in that third.
Oh, I know. Let's see. I got it at minus 115. We'll see. It's a tiny bet. So, but yeah, I'll assume that Sanders wins by decision.
Man, he's lost to Sterling. We knew that. Sterling, Brian Kelleher, Andre Ewell.
Yeah,
and as a win over Philippe Nover, Liam has lost to Yuri Alcantara, Andre
was beating him. He was beating him.
And then lost to Hanya, which is a little more respectable. But either way, it's yeah. I got Barao at B+, Sanders at C-. I gotta pick Sanders, but I feel you can't bet him. He's unbettable. He's literally in the Justin. He is on. I can't.
This might be the only situation where you can.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was literally anybody else, then maybe. But I mean, I'm not doing it, but I can sort of.
I don't know about anybody else. I mean, there are other guys I think he could be like kind of. I mean, I don't even want to talk about who those guys might be, but there are guys. But oh man, Sanders. I mean, he's not Scoggins level Mookery, but he's.
Yeah, how's Barao beat him? How does Barao beat him? Like,
I mean, could he sub him?
He's not good. He's not good. That's the thing.
Could he?
I don't see.
He could drop him early.
That's. I mean, he's got to clip him, but Sanders is coming in and Sanders is taking him down. Barao does have that offensive fucking game off his back. He's not going to. That's why I like to bet a little more because.
Is it in Phoenix at elevation or is it in the valley? Let's see it.
I mean, that's where he's from, though, right? Sanders is.
He fights out of there. Phoenix elevation is 1,000 feet. Okay, it's not that bad, but
just hook a fucking marinara fucking to your vein, dude. Put it straight into your bloodstream.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay away, probably begrudgingly, to be fair. So, but I think we all think Luke Sanders is for the most part the correct side. Moving up to the TV card, so then the last 10 fights are on TV, although there's a prelim card and a main card. Don't get me started. We're going with Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman taking on Nikki Lentz in a battle of wrestlers. Wes, start us off.
Yeah, I was looking at reasons to maybe take a shot on Lentz here, but I just think Holtzman's just going to be a little bit better wrestler in this fight. And that's what it's going to come down to. I can't lay minus 170 on Holtzman though. Maybe fight Holtzman by decision or something when that comes out might be a good enough number. But yeah, I just think Holtzman's just going to be a little bit better wrestler in this match, and that's what it's going to come down to. He'll control Lentz for 3 rounds and get a decision here. So Holtzman's the pick. I want to see the number on Holtzman by decision.
Okay, Nushan.
I like Lentz a bit here. I do think the wrestling is close. I think Lentz has the better gas tank. And I thought he showed, like, I know he was fighting fucking Gray Maynard last time, who's a goddamn corpse, but the technique was there. He's definitely made some decent improvements to his striking. And I think that's gonna to get there enough against Holtzman, who I still think is very overrated. The guys who he's beat are not good.
Terrible.
They're fucking terrible.
If you're betting Holtzman, you're going to be holding on for dear life come the 3rd round.
Yeah, that's gonna be scary. So,
yep.
I think it's closer to a 50-50 fight than what the odds say. So I just took Lentz at plus 150 for 1 unit. We'll see if he can make it dirty and make Holtzman tired and maybe eke out a win.
I got Holtzman at D+, Nick Lentz at C-. I agree. I thought Lentz's striking looked much improved his last bout. Showed definitely some different techniques. Pretty good head kick. I'd like to see how the grappling goes. I think it's fairly even. So I think it stays standing. And Lentz, I think, has more variety despite Holtzman. You know, he likes to bully, and I think it's going to be hard to bully Lentz. So I'm going to take Lentz here to get the win. I'm not super confident because I think these guys are fairly similar. And if someone actually does have the advantage in the wrestling, it's going to be a pretty, how do I put it? It's going to be more of like a widespread decision versus a close fight. And it's kind of hard to decipher. So that's my take on that one. We got another women's fight. Ashley Evans Smith.
What is wrong with these motherfuckers?
Don't worry, there's one more.
Taking on the racist wife, Andrea. Don't damn racist, though, you know.
Jay, there's very fine people on both sides of this.
especially on this one. I mean, you don't need to have. I mean, there's no defending this one. Like, I don't care where your political views stand, unless, well, you know what I mean. There's no getting around this. Like, come on now. This is, yeah. This is political as we'll get on this show.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Ashley Evans Smith, Andrea, what's her name? KGB Lee? Is that what it is?
It's KGB Lee.
Dude, it sounds way better than just KG Lee.
Yeah,
but
but then it doesn't.
Whatever. Wes, start us off.
Yeah, I mean, I think Andrea Lee should win this fight. She's better, but I mean,
Is she though?
Yeah, I mean,
Hell.
who really knows? She on the feet, she's way better, but I mean, who knows, man? All the personal stuff too. I don't have no read on this fight, man. So I'll probably have to pick Andrea Lee and Topmaster, but I'm not touching this with any of my money whatsoever.
That's interesting. New Shauna.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment as Wes. With all the bullshit that's going on in Andrea Lee's life, her last fight got canceled like the day before the fight. It's just a stay away. I think Ashley Evans Smith has definitely fought the better fighters. I think Andrea Lee is the more skilled fighter, but yeah, I'm just staying away and didn't even bet the over. Don't give a shit.
Wow. I got both of them in a C-. I think Evans Smith is definitely the better grappler wrestler, but Andrea Lee is definitely the better striker. So it's kind of tough to see how this one goes. Can Andrea Lee stop the takedown? Is might be a better wrestler, but is going to attempt takedowns in this fight? Sometimes she just gets moody and wants to strike. So I kind of see where you're going there. It's close. I'm going to pick Lee too. I think the ceiling is higher, but that's really not saying much. But I do see a path for Evan Smith to win, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if she does. But I'm going to pick Andrea Lee, 100% not betting this fight, even if I get drunk and crazy, which I'm not. But let's just say
Oh, you'll be drunk, motherfucker. Shut up.
Drunk on fun. Benito Lopez and Manny Bermudez in a bantamweight bout. Prelimming under a very good bantamweight bout to come after it. But let's talk about Lopez and Bermudez. Two guys, younger guys in this division that have a little bit of hype behind them, I thought, until their last outings. All right, Wes, thoughts here?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty fun fight, actually. Two pretty much, I think, really evenly matched guys. I mean, I think Bermudez might be a little bit better at this point, definitely a little bit more technical than Benito Lopez. He tends to get a little wild and stuff, but, I mean, it's a really close fight.
He's got that X factor, though, man.
Yeah, it's a close fight, man. So I had to take a little stab on Lopez here. He was way over 2-1. I ended up getting plus 205, but it's just a little stab here. It's just a really close fight against two really evenly matched dudes, I think, and I think this could get a little wild at times, man. Benito Lopez can make fights wild. Manny Bermudez has no problems getting into fights like that, and I think we could see some close rounds. And if I can get a couple of them, man, I'm going to take that shot. I like Benito Lopez quite a bit, so plus 205, I took a little shot.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, new Sean.
Yeah, I don't have too much on the sides for this fight. I think these are both definitely the best guys that either of these guys have faced in the UFC so far. This fight might get a little wild. I'm hoping that maybe it gets a little wild and they get a little gassy because I took just a half unit stab at fight goes to decision at plus 265. I thought that was kind of high.
Damn, really?
I know, yeah, like I know these guys are very talented offensively, but that just seemed like a very, very high number to me.
Neither one of them get finished though. Yeah, that's.
I know they're both pretty. Like they're obviously neither have been finished. They're both undefeated fighters. Bermudez obviously has a shit ton of subs.
Lopez lose his last bout.
No.
He beat
Albert Morales last time by decision.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both durable as hell. They're both undefeated, but they've been in scraps. They're both like really durable. Yeah, that's a crazy number. I might have to look at that.
Yeah, so
I'm thinking of someone else.
I'll take Bermudez. I think like Wes said, he's a bit better fighter right now, but I think he might be a little bit too high priced. But I'll just stick with the goes to decision prop.
Damn, it's still 2-1. It's not bad.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I got Bermudez a C, Lopez a C-. But Lopez hasn't fought since December of 2017, so that is a little bit of a question. Definitely that qualifies as ring rust. I think Bermudez's X factor is his submission grappling. He tends to finish most of his fights that way. He's just kind of one of those guys that has a feel and finds a way to get to fight to the ground and get into submission. So it's a danger for Lopez. And like I said, he does get too aggressive at times on the feet, and I think that could make him vulnerable to being taken down and submitted on the mat. So I'm going to take Manny Bermudez here to win by submission. But just given both these fighters and they're both prospects, that does seem like a bit of a surprising line. It's right now Manny Bermudez minus 200. So I don't know about Toutmaster. I haven't decided what I'll do for Toutmaster yet, but it's an interesting line. I'm a little surprised Bermudez is that big of a favorite. Next bout, way more intriguing, way more important. Jimmy Rivera, North Jersey's own, Bergen County's finest, taking on Aljamain Sterling, Long Island's finest. Battle of the Tri-State. Very good top 10 bantamweight bout. Wes, give us your thoughts. I know this is going to get heated.
Yeah, this is a good fight, man. Against two really good guys. With Rivera, I think that we might have got Rivera just a tiny bit overrated. I'm not saying he's completely overrated, but before the Moraes fight, people were pumping him up, talking about he was going to be champ and shit, and it just he's still got some flaws, man. He's really small for the division. He's another one of those decent wrestlers that's fell in love with kickboxing, and again that's going to work against the Dodsons of the world when you're kind of on the same size level. Aljo's going to be massive compared to Rivera here, and I just think Aljo's length is going to cause Rivera problems here, man. I don't think Rivera's going to be able to get in enough to dirty this fight up like he needs to win it. And Aljo's just he's gotten better, man. Coming off his Moraes loss, he's had two really, really good wins against two really good guys. I was on the Brett Johns train. I still think the guy's good. Stamen's really good, and he made easy work of those guys, man. So I just think Sterling's, he's starting to peak, man, and Jimmy's just kind of still the same guy, I think. And man, plus 140 here. I had to take a shot on Aljo. I think he's a little bit better at this point. I think the size and the length of Aljo. I think his kick game is going to be a major factor in this fight, and I think he can do that over 3 rounds and win a decision here. So, yeah, I took plus 140 on Aljo.
All right, Nushan.
So after you guys kind of said that you were on the Sterling train in this fight,
why are you spoiling it for the listener?
Well, anyway, I took another look at both their last fights, just to kind of refresh myself some more. Aljamain looked really good in that Stamen fight. His kick game and he's throwing a combo in that fight. I think he was spamming a bit too much. I hopefully he doesn't do that in this fight because he might get caught. He was throwing the left high kick and then the right hook right after. It did seem to work on Stamen. As for Jimmy Rivera, I thought he looked pretty good. I know there was a lot of booing in that Dodson fight. I don't know what the deal was there. I know it is tough to look good against Dodson. There's not many guys that do look good against him, but he was pretty much matching Dodson like speed for speed. And his kicking game was pretty nice too. He was attacking Dodson's legs to slow him down. I know Sterling's going to have the reach advantage in this fight. I think he has it against pretty much everybody in this division. But it's not outrageous. It's a 3-inch advantage in this fight. He had a big one against Stamen. Stamen,
legs.
He had a 7-inch reach advantage. Now, obviously, legs are a bit different. But Stamen was still able to clip him a couple times in that first round. So he was able to get in. Stamen also was able to attack Aljo's legs. He didn't really.
Stamen can wrestle though.
Yeah, so can Jimmy Rivera.
Stamen, I think, is a better wrestler. But whatever.
But Stamen, like Aljo, definitely needs to check those kicks because I think that's the way that Rivera's going to attack him because he doesn't have the reach advantage. I think it's a close fight. I'm going to give the edge to Rivera. I've really liked Aljo. I've bet him a lot in his fight. This is going to be an interesting fight because I don't the wrestling's likely going to cancel, and I don't think Rivera wants to mess around in Aljo's guard anyway. So I think it's going to be a kickboxing fight, and Aljo has made big leaps in the kickboxing game, but I still kind of like Jimmy Rivera's kicking game. So I think it's close. I kind of don't mind you guys taking that at a decent mid-sized dog. So. But I'll pick Jimmy Rivera.
I got both fighters at B+. There is like both Nushan had mentioned, a 3-inch height, a 3-inch reach advantage. Although I think it's more than that, because the leg difference is significant. And I think both are right that the wrestling is going to nullify itself. It's not really going to be a factor in this bout. And it's going to come down to a kickboxing fight. And the one difference between these two fighters, the key difference is that Sterling just doesn't take a lot of damage. He's only taken 1.43 significant strikes a minute in his UFC career versus 3.35 for Jimmy Rivera. So Sterling does a really good job of staying on the outside and not getting hit. And he can make this a fairly boring kickboxing bout where he's going to land from range. Maybe they're not going to be fight-altering shots. Not going to need to be, but he's going to be able to land those kicks and throw in some strikes from time to time as he pushes in, then bounces right back out. Rivera's going to be throwing at air. I think he's going to really struggle to land, and that's going to be a real problem for him in this bout. So I'll take Sterling here. I think he wins by decision. And I think it's definitely worth a bet because I think he should be the slight favorite in this bout. Right now it's plus 125 at 5 dimes, plus 120 at BetDSI, and upwards of plus 130 at some of the other books. So I'll say Aljamain Sterling wins as the underdog. Move to the main card. We have Andre Touchy-Feely taking on everybody's least favorite fighter, Miles Jury. Wes.
Yeah, I've never been big on Jury either.
It makes people go to sleep.
Yeah, I think this fight's going to probably end up on the feet for the most part, and I just think Philly's better on the feet here. If it gets to the mat, it gets interesting, but Philly's no slouch on the mat either. Jury's probably better there for sure, but. Feely's caught a couple guys with some crazy stuff before, so I think it ends up on the feet. I think Feely can keep it staying. I think he's a better striker than Jury, and I think it's just going to kind of be another semi-boring kind of kickboxy, grindy fight, and I'll take a little shot on the underdog here in a fight that I think that Feely should probably be the slight favorite in. So. I believe I got like plus 135 or something like that. Maybe a little more, maybe 145. I don't have my stuff pulled up, but I took a shot on Feely here.
All right, Nushan, your thoughts on this bout?
I don't think much of Andre Feely. I think Michael Johnson is beyond shot, and he lost that fight. I know it was a split decision, but I don't think it should have been a split. That's not a good sign when that was pretty much a kickboxing fight. Not that
Johnson's a better striker than
is he though at this day and age? I don't know if he is, man.
Yeah, you're
Johnson is fucking bad. Miles Jury is not great, and he's also coming off a TKO injury or TKO loss to Chad Mendes. That was not a good showing. Mendes coming off a huge layoff and just getting dusted like that. This is just a stay away fight for me. I'll pick Jury. I think he's a little bit more talented, but I would not be surprised if he loses and Wes wins this bet either.
I got Feely a C, Jury a C. Jury's definitely, at one point I had him up to a B, but he's dwindled down to full letter grade. He just, since coming back when he was, and then moving weight class, it just hasn't been good those last few fights. Jury, it looks rather lethargic. He's not a differentiator on the feet. At least Andre will throw on feet. He's gotten more physical as time goes on. I could totally see him being taken down though, but I think he's going to put in an effort, and I think the effort might just be enough to win him the fight. So I'll take Andre Feely to win, but it's absolutely not a bet. A few fights left to discuss. We got Vicente Luque taking on, what was at one point a friend of the MMA analysis and also a friend of the MMA lab. We got Brian Barberina. I heard he likes to eat chicken parm night before fights. That's what I like to hear. All right, Wes, what do you got for us? The chicken parm man or the Brazilian?
No, I mean, Barberina has been a good bet at times. That plus 200 range. Yeah, that plus 200, plus 250 range.
We're there.
Against Joe Proctors of the world, the Sage Northcutts of the world.
Warley.
That was a good one. That's when Warley still had a shit gas tank, which is a little bit better now. But still, props to Barberina. He's come through a few times as a decent dog. This is a different animal here. Vicente Luque is the truth. I mean, that dude's lost once in like the last 3 years, and that's to a guy that's ended up being pretty good in Leon Edwards. That guy's not any slouch by any means. So I really like Luque. I've been on him since that tough season of the gyms, and the dude striking is right up there, man. He's got some clean boxing. I just think that's going to give Barberina trouble here. Barberina's just he's one of those guys that just far outworks his talent level, so he can he's decent, but that's not going to get him far enough against the Luques of the world. So Sean will talk about it too. I do think Barberina's he's a tough guy though, and he stays in fights. Guy can take some damage, so. I think this probably goes to a decision. I did parlay Luque when he was around, I want to say minus 350 or something like that with somebody else on the card, but I'm going to look at Luque by decision too when that comes out. That should be a decent number, as I think him inside the distance is probably going to be the more favorite spot there. So we'll look at Luque by decision as well.
All right, we'll talk to our totals expert here, Nushan. Is this a fight that's actually going to go to a decision, or do you expect a finish?
I expect a decision. I think that's just all that is just how tough Barberina is. That's usually how he wins. He gets hit early, kind of wears on his opponent until he kind of gasses, and then he's able to take over. Unfortunately, in this matchup, I don't see him taking over. I don't think Luque is going to get too gassed because I think he's going to be the one doing the damage. Luque is pretty damn good, and he seems to be just keep getting better and better as every fight comes along. He's got slick boxing, and he also has has some really good jiu-jitsu to go with it. So he's a dangerous dude kind of wherever it goes. Barberina, like I said, is a tough bastard. So I expect this to be a fairly wide decision, but like Wes, I'm going to be looking for Luque by decision in the plus 220, 250 range, because I think it'll be there considering the fight to go decision right now. I think it's plus 125. So hopefully it does whenever the props come out. They're taking their sweet ass times to come out, but yeah, that's what I'll be looking at.
I got Luque C+, Barberina C-. A lot of my points have kind of already been said. Luque is a tremendously better striker. Barberina is a tough fighter. He can really take a shot, and he's kind of a guy who's had his best moments when he lets other guys throw the kitchen sink, and then he and tire themselves out, and then he's able to take over fights. I don't see that happening that much here. I think Luque is going to be a little more refined. Isn't going to just try to, for a fast wave and try to finish. And then, in terms of technical striking, Luque is just far superior to Barberina. I think this is a tough bout for him. I'll take Luque to win as well. But at this price, it's no bet. Moving up, we got 4 fights left to cover. The first one of those is Alex Caceres taking on our only new UFC fighter on the bout. We got Helio Gracie's grandson, Hickson's son, the Kron Gracie, former Abu Dhabi Combat Championships gold medalist. Diaz, trainer, good luck. Wes, here's your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, any dude that smokes the amounts of marijuana that Kron smokes and the subs that he pulls off, he's a friend of the MMA analysis. Yeah, I mean, I already saw some people last week like, oh, this dude's a sub guy and he ain't fought and this.
So what?
This dude's the truth, man. This guy ain't just a sub guy, dude. He's a fighter, man. He's a mauler. Caceres is in trouble here. I mean, he's in serious trouble here. This is going to go to the mat. Great.
Yeah, if he does.
Yeah, it's going to the mat. Gracie's actually got some pretty good. I wouldn't even call it wrestling. He just gets a hold of a guy. He's almost like Damian Maia. Like he's gonna get a hold of you, and he's gonna drag you down, and you're gonna be fucked. And that's what's gonna happen here. I mean, the Caceres is going to decisions with the Martin Bravos of the world and shit. I mean, this isn't going to be pretty. I parlayed Kron with Luque. Even as a parlay, I think that's the safest bet on this entire card. And I'm going to look at see what Kron by sub is when it comes out. It's going to be a little juice, but hopefully it's in a respectable range. I'm gonna play that straight. That's what's happening in this fight. Kron is going to sub Caceres in the first round.
Okay. New Sean.
What kind of odds do you think that Kron Gracie is actually going to pass his post-fight weed test in this one? I don't think it's going to. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough matchup for Bruce Leroy. He's got a shit ton of losses by sub. He doesn't have good takedown defense, so even if as soon as Kron gets in tight, I think this is going to hit the mat. Bruce Leroy has decent stand-up, but I don't think it's going to matter. What Kron Gracie did to Kawajiri, I know Kawajiri's old and stuff like that, but dude still is a really good wrestler, and Kron just sliced through his guard and just dominated him. This should be one-way traffic, and it should be a fairly quick sub. I don't know if he's going to get it in the first, probably, but I don't see this going very long.
I haven't finished my grade yet of Kron Gracie, but I got Alex Caceres down at let me just pull the exact grade. A D+.
Ooh,
D+. D+. Kron, I think, is going to be probably a C-, maybe a C. Probably a C- just because his striking is still rather minty. I mean, he has a little bit of pop, but it's just when he's forced to face fighters who are going to be able to keep it standing, it's going to be a little more challenging for him. But Alex Caceres is not that guy. He tends to be taken down at will, and then try to do things off his back. There's no way that's going to happen against Kron Gracie, because Kron is just an elite level submission grappler in MMA. So I just think there's just too many advantages for Kron in this fight, and he's going to get the win and continue his unbeaten record. 3 fights to go. We have our last women's bout. I know. Cynthia Calvillo taking on Courtney Casey. I mean, should they even let out Kron Gracie hang out in the same arena as Cynthia Calvillo, considering how she's addicted to the reefer?
The reefer.
I think it's a legitimate question. All right, Wes, start us off. 3 fights to go.
Yeah. This should be. It's probably going to be really sloppy, but I think it's probably going to be definitely the funnest women's fight on the card. I think Calvillo wins this fight, man. But I mean, there's no damn way I'm laying 3-1 on her in this fight. She wins. It's going to be sloppy. Should be kind of fun. That's all I got.
All right, you, Sean. I like it.
Calvillo should win. I'm not touching a side. You know the deal. I took Ghost decision in that parlay.
Yep.
One bite, you know the rules? Yeah, we know.
So I got Ghost decision.
One chick fight, you know the rules.
At minus 195. So those chicks overs that I actually took, I got 1 unit on those to go decision at plus 117.
Sure. I got Casey. I just had to go move up. I got Casey, a C+, Calvillo, a B-. I think Casey has the advantage on the feet pretty clearly, but Calvillo always seems to know a way to get her fights to the ground. On the ground, she's lethal. Casey, we saw, can be taken down by any relatively good good wrestler. So you have to think Calvillo's going to be able to get this fight to the ground, and when she does, Casey's in a lot of trouble. I'll take Calvillo to win. I'll even say so by sub, but no bet for me on that. Let's see what happens once we get that prop line out. Co-main event. I know we're going to want to talk about this one a little bit. We got Paul Felder, MMA commentator, taking on James Vick, MMA apologist.
Rape apologist.
Wes. Sorry, I didn't want to say it. I don't want to give it any more, air time than it deserves. All right, Wes, take us away. Tell us why you're going to be betting against James Vick, besides the obvious.
Yeah, I mean that's fairly obvious. I mean we got the C. We got the C of the YMCA last time. We need to get the A this time with Vic laid out on his back, arms over his head. I mean that last fight was one of my favorite knockouts ever. I mean, Gagey, just the pick of the little collage you could put together at Gagey, human punching bag, and then Vic getting slick, Gagey doing the backflip. Yeah, great times. It was a good night. Here I bet this is a little bit of a just a personal bet. It's a kind of a tough matchup for Felder. I think, in all honesty, man, the Vic's length is going to be a little bit of a problem here. But man, if Felder can get in and work, man, he still got that clean boxing, man, and the dude looks just completely in shape for this fight, ready to go. He looks shredded. If he can get in and work and make it a little dirty, I think he's got a shot. If he lets Vic stay on the outside, I think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. But yeah, of course, I bet Felder small in this fight, and I'll be picking him.
All right, Sean, are you picking against the apologist as well?
I will, but I think it's a close fight. Felder had so much momentum going for him after he had those 3 finishes in a row. For the most part, he's been a kind of a decision fighter, but he was able to finish Alexandro Ricci, who nobody knows who the fuck that is, but finishing Stevie Ray and Do Bronx in the ways that he did was really impressive. And then he took that last minute fight against Mike Perry, and then it was a close fight. He broke his arm, which is not great. So that gives me a bit pause. Just breaking your arm, who knows if he's leery to throw it. I doubt he will be, but that's a bit sketchy. And then James Vick coming off that highlight reel KO loss that was just gorgeous.
Thank God.
His length might give Felder a lot of pause. Hopefully we don't see the typical Felder where Vick hits him with a jab, he makes the angry face and shakes his head at him, and then gets hit with a jab and repeats the whole fucking process.
That's the worry.
That's what I'm worried about there. Hopefully that isn't what happens. Hopefully Felder can get inside and test that chin again, because Vic definitely can be hit. He's got that beautiful tall guy defense, and that chin has been touched. So we'll see what comes.
He is very tall.
I'll pick Felder by decision, but it's going to be a close one.
I have Felder B-, Vic of B-. This one's tough because Vic, I think, has a length advantage, and Felder could struggle, a little bit with the distance. Vic's jab landing from the outside. Vic also has pretty good guillotine submission. So if there's a situation like that, Vic, I think, could be a threat. But Felder definitely hits harder. He's the more creative striker. I think Felder's got the better chin. There's a lot of things to suggest for Felder to win this bout. It's just kind of hard to trust him after the elbow injury, and he tends to fight down to his opponents. So I think he might do that here a little bit and keep Vic in this fight. It's only 3 rounds, so this one's one of the toughest bouts to call. I'm gonna slightly side with Paul Felder again for his power and testing the Vic chin, but I can see either guy winning, and it's a tough fight to call. Main event, people have been looking forward to this one ever since the moment it got announced. We got Francis Ngannou taking on the return of the Cain Velasquez, former champion, former title challenger. A big fight in the heavyweight division, top 5 heavyweights. Wes, how do you got this one?
He ain't made that walk yet. As he shine, he ain't made it yet.
That's right. I'm still worried about talking about. I'm still worried about talking about this fight, but we'll have to do it.
Yeah, man. Look, I think Cain right there with Fedor are the 2 best heavyweights ever. When Cain was right. If not right there with him, I mean, he's in the argument for sure. Man, we have no idea what Cain is at this point, man. I mean, he's 36 now. He hasn't fought in almost 3 years. He's had a couple major back surgeries. I mean, those are just massive, massive question marks, man. And going in against a guy, I mean, of course I'm going to be a little biased in this, but I mean, I've been a massive Cain fan forever too, so that kind of takes a little out of it. But yeah, a little biased, man. But I just don't see how you can't take 2-1 on a power puncher like Ngannou going against this version of Cain. Maybe he shows up and he's right. I mean, the Cain right and healthy mauls Ngannou. I mean, he absolutely mauls him. I don't think there's any question about that. It would be a just absolute beatdown. But that's not what we're talking about here. All the miles, all the surgeries, the layoff, all that. I mean, 2-1 on a power puncher like Ngannou. Yeah, I got to take that shot. Would I be surprised if Cain is halfway healthy and he comes in and takes Ngannou down and just beats on him for a while, it wouldn't totally surprise me. But yeah, I'll take that chance. Prove me wrong. So yeah, I took plus 210 on Ngannou, and I think he catches Cain with something. I'm not even sure Cain still makes this walk. Let's see him on the scale and make it to the cage. And yeah, we'll see. I had to take the shot on plus 210 here.
All right, Nushan.
I think this is going to be a fight where when it ends, everybody's going to be like, obviously that happened. Like if you bet on that,
yeah, either way,
you'd be like, of course Cain mauled him. Yeah. Like, look what he's done to everybody in the past. And then if Ngannou starches him, of course he was going to do that. Cain's a fucking Band-Aid and never fights and is always injured. I think it's going to be one of those. It's insane how much Cain has been injured. I'm going to list it off here. So he tore his rotator cuff when he absolutely destroyed Brock Lesnar in 2010. He re-injured his rotator cuff when he lost to JDS on the first UFC on Fox card. Injured his knee training later in 2012. He injured his shoulder, torn labrum in the second JDS fight. He tore his meniscus and sprained his MCL in 2014. He injured his back in 2016 and had to pull out of the rematch with Verdum. And then when he was supposed to fight Verdum again, he had to pull out because he was going to have back surgery. And that's why he hasn't fought since 2016. This dude is held together, as Wes likes to say, with popsicle sticks, bubble gum, and maybe some tape.
That's an interesting combination.
Now, like I said, if he comes in there and he's healthy and he takes down Ngannou, who we know what his takedown defense is like because the Stipe fight,
it's a little better though. I think.
I do think it's better.
Against Blades, that was an improvement. That was a little bit of an improvement.
I mean that fight ended quick, so it's tough to make too much of that. But I think that fight against Stipe kind of opened Ngannou's eyes. I think he's definitely made some improvements since then. He's come to realize he's not untouchable. And I think he gets Cain. If he gets mauled, then it is what it is, but I'm taking a shot. I got plus 220 on Francis Ngannou. I think he knocks out Cain early. This guy is an unbelievable striker.
Healthy Cain. Like if Ngannou catches a healthy Cain right, he's going out. Like that dude can knock out anybody.
I know. And I know there's people that kind of overrate Ngannou's power and stuff like that, but Cain has been cracked before, and I think that Ngannou can do it. So I got two units on Ngannou at plus 220. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'll take the shot. And judging by the line movement, I think there's a bunch of other people that seem to agree with me as well.
I got Ngannou an A-. I got Cain an A. But really, Cain's probably about the hardest fighter to grade at this point because he hasn't fought in any recent amount of time, and you don't know what he's physically capable of. At his best, he's an A++ level fighter. But if he's not, he's probably even quite a bit lower into the B range. So it's really tough. It's really tough to determine just what he is, because if he gets Ngannou down, after the first round, I mean, it's probably over for Ngannou because he'll get mauled on the mat, and the referee will be forced to step in. So I think if Cain wins, I think it could be like a second or third round stoppage. But Ngannou could absolutely win in that first round via knockout. I'm kind of leaning towards the Ngannou way at this point, just because I heard something today about Cain that suggests to me that his wrestling's not going to be up to the par that is going to be necessary to win this fight. But it's really hard to believe until you kind of see it in your own eyes. So I'll take Ngannou by knockout. The only way to bet this fight in terms of a Ngannou play, but that's just about it. Again, a lot of unknowns in this bout. that does it for this week's episode. I think next week the UFC is going to the Czech Republic for Jan Blachowicz and good old Thiago Santos, which
Peter
is not
Yan.
a bad thing. Peter Yan and John Dodson somehow on the prelims. Is it even on the prelims?
Prelims.
I don't know. Well, I think it's an all. Is that an all Fight Pass card? No, I think that's an ESPN Plus card. But I think it's on the prelims. Ankalaev is also on that fight or on that card. So, and Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Rusty Cables. Like, there's a couple fights on there that aren't too bad. So, there definitely should be some violence. We know how these kind of afternoon cards go.
Should be fun. We'll be back next week. Sorry we didn't have a consensus this week. Maybe we'll have one next week. Enjoy the fights.